Patrick Mahomes is amazing. They showed some of his best plays last night, end of the game, and you're going to see some of them here. The throws he makes on the move, looking one way, throwing another, stop on a dime, know exactly where he is in relation to the other 21 players. This is one of his touchdown passes to Kareem Hunt. Beautiful overhead shot of that. But, you know, the eyes are always looking. He always knows where he is. He can, you know, he knows when he can slow down. He knows when he has to speed up. He can do whatever he wants to do. It really is like cat and mouse with him. And it was a thing of beauty last night from Patrick Mahomes, but we're used to that. And I think the problem is we've been spoiled by it. We've gotten numb to it. And I think on a weekend, Devin, when there were a lot of backup quarterbacks who played, in a game where a backup quarterback played, I think it's important to have even greater appreciation of the guy who has done things we've never seen in that stage of his career. They've still never had an outcome to a season worse with Patrick Mahomes as the starter than losing in overtime of the AFC Championship. You were involved in one of them. The Bengals were the other. The other 5 times, it was the Super Bowl. And when you look at the AFC right now, as it jumbles together, hard to think they're not going to be a major force when it's time to decide who goes back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday night we talked about it. We looked at the 3 teams at the top of the AFC: Indy, Denver, and the Patriots. And we talked about, you know, each of us made a case on, you know, why we thought one of those teams were legit contenders and could come out of the AFC. And we ended it with, but look, no matter what these 3 teams do, and you could throw Buffalo in that mix, there's a guy waiting for you. And he's usually waiting for you in the AFC Championship. And that's the story of it. And the way that we watch this team now come together and play, you sit there and you're like, how does anyone beat them? Like it still feels the same way it's felt the last few years. And what I'm always blown away about Patrick Mahomes is he continues to just still develop. Like he's one of those guys that there's like only one way to have success against him as a defense. I think you have to be able to play some man-to-man. You have to be able to match up with their guys and be very competitive. And then you have to be able to rush 4, but more importantly, you have to be able to rush 3 and still get some pressure. Like your 3-man rushes can't turn into him just sitting back there forever, but you have to be able to play that style. A lot of man mixed in with some zone, but when you play some zone, how can we get an extra guy and play like this max zone coverage so we're able to help on Rashee Rice and help on different guys, have somebody over the top for Worthy, and you have to have the personnel to do that. But like he's now created it and made it a way where if you don't play that style, create some turnovers, but play it almost perfectly, you can't beat them. Like it's crazy to watch. And even as we watched them lose, you know, a few weeks ago on Monday night against Jacksonville, it still took, you know, Lloyd to get this interception at the 1-yard line and have this huge return for a touch. Like it takes those kind of plays. You have to play damn near a perfect game. Your best players have to make these, very impactful plays. Your quarterback has to engineer this drive at the end of the game to win. Like you need to have all of those things and check every box to beat Patrick Mahomes, and he's made it that tough. And I just think back to when he was young and we would try to get in different looks and make him hold the ball, make him try to make these different plays, and sometimes he would make them, and then other times he wouldn't, and you'd be like, that's what it takes. Now, when I watch him and then the ball doesn't always come out as soon as he hits the back foot, he still knows what you're in, but he knows if he buys time, he knows how he can really take advantage of what you're in and exploit the coverage. And I think about that Rashee Rice touchdown where Rice has the one-on-one kind of with Bobby Wagner in the middle of the field, and he buys a little extra time. So instead of Wagner being able to tackle him as he catches it, he runs away a little bit more. He throws it to him maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds later, and now it turns into a touchdown. And those are guys you can't practice for. It's the same way like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. He's just at the highest level of what you're going to see on Sunday. There's no replica of it. There's nothing you can do in practice to kind of say, hey, this is how we're going to play it. He's going to do this. Not like you just don't see it. And it's so hard to watch. And you said it. It's how they wore Washington down. Like, yes, you're getting some stops. Yes, Kelsey drops a pass. I guess, all that happens. But in the second half, you're going to keep seeing the same dosage of it. I'm going to keep attacking you. And as soon as you make one or two mistakes, you drop a kickoff, the ball lands on the 2-yard line or whatever. Yes, it might not be the worst case scenario when you think about that, but those mistakes, you start thinking about it, and they're like, well, time to capitalize, time to do this, and the momentum and everything in the game just shifts. That's why it's so hard to beat this Kansas City Chiefs team.
I remember when I was a kid and first watching football, and I heard the saying that defensive backs need to have amnesia, and I took it way too literally because I'm like, what do you mean they need to have amnesia? They need to know where they are. They need to know their names. They need to know they're playing football. but then I realized what it meant, and Patrick Mahomes has that. First time in his career, he was picked off on the first 2 drives of a game ever. Well, and I love watching quarterback demeanor, and do you give in to that moment? Do you just, it's just not our night? No, he flushes that and off he goes. And when he's playing at a high level, Devin, it's a manipulation. It's an active manipulation of the other team. He will do exactly what he wants to you and get you to do what he wants you to do. And he can buy that extra time skittering away from whatever rush there is to give Rashee Rice the ability to run away from Bobby Wagner and to hit him in stride. So he doesn't have to reach back or slow down or put his arms up or do anything other than just run right in. And there's an element to it that we just kind of get lulled to sleep by, that he does these things that others just can't do. And it really is amazing to watch this guy who, even when, and I always say this is what separates the good quarterbacks from the great quarterbacks, when the play that is called isn't there, that's when he does some of his most amazing stuff, because that's when he knows, as he's seemingly running around with his hair on fire, he knows where he's going. He knows what he's going to do. I mean, either he's the luckiest guy that's ever played organized sports or the most brilliant, because just when it looks like it's all about to go, he'll stop and he'll fire, and there's a guy, and like he knew that guy was going to be there all along. That happened 3 or 4 times last night.
And the cool thing now, I think, what we're watching from this Kansas City Chiefs offense that I think we haven't fully seen ever with the Mahomes era is there's just a bunch of guys. Like, the weapons he has now, Rashee Rice is he's the star of the group. But if we said, hey, where does Rashee Rice rank amongst all of the top receivers, nobody would be in a rush to put Rashee Rice at the top of that list. But there's now this group of guys that are all good. They all do different things well. And to me, Rice just happens to be the guy that does a bunch of those things well. Like, they put him in the Wildcat last night and ran a play from there where he almost scored. Like,
shot out of a cannon.
Run the short routes. Yes.
When he got that, he was
can
gone.
Run the short, the deep.
Yeah.
And then almost reaches and has these long arms to get in the end zone, which is ridiculous. But, like, it's now morphing into that kind of Tom Brady-esque type of, hey, like, there's a lot of good players over there. I don't know how great anybody is, but, like, when you give a quarterback like this many weapons, and you give a play caller like Andy Reid, who is now saying, hey, we have all of these things we can put in, now you kind of forget, oh, yeah, we got to worry about the reverse to Xavier Worthy. Oh, we got to worry about the screens to this rookie running back, Smith. Oh, man, now we're doing all this. Oh, all of a sudden, Isaiah Pacheco has room. Kareem Hunt is now powerful running. And now when we're in this zone coverage, instead of always knowing in zone where Travis Kelce is, so you can hit him as a defensive lineman, hit him first, slow him down, and now all of a sudden you're like, man, Kelce's deep down this list. Like, we can't worry as much about Kelce. We got to worry about other guys, and that starts to happen. And now, like you just said, now you have this quarterback and this offensive play caller that know exactly how to manipulate the defense. They know exactly what the defense is going to do. And now as you're moving towards stopping what they're doing, they hit you with the counterpunch. They hit you with another counterpunch. It's just so hard to figure out. Now you look at the other teams and you're like, who has the defense that can go out there and match them a little bit, that can slow them down for a game and not just rely on, a drop pass or Marshawn Lattimore making an incredible interception on a back shoulder throw. Like, who can actually go out there, first down, second down, third down, stop? Like, who can go out there and do that time and time again? And that's why I think as we get closer to the end of this season, we're going to say, man, like, who the hell's going to beat this team in a playoff game? And it's crazy to say from where we started the season, it's really shaping in. As much as I've loved watching the Colts and watching the Patriots, as you watch, I'm just like, I don't know if I like them in a playoff game. Now, I like Denver's defense a little bit in a playoff game, but then you're like, is Denver going to score enough points offensively? They're getting better with it, but I think this thing, it's really turning into the favorite of Kansas City Chiefs week by week, it feels like.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.